The NBA season usually ends in July, giving players around 4 months to rest and recover. However, in March of this year, when the season was put on indefinite hold due to COVID, many people assumed that the 2019-2020 basketball season was over. Luckily, Commissioner Adam Silver and the owners found a way to safely continue the season. On June 4th, the NBA season continued under a seemingly shaky foundation. The plan the NBA devised became known as the Bubble. The Bubble was based in Orlando, Florida, at Disney World. This allowed the NBA season to continue successfully. All players and coaches had to stay within the bubble for the duration of the season. Temporary courts and arenas were built all around the park, and for over 3 months, Disney World became the NBA bubble. The true scientific success of this bubble: during the NBA stint at Disney World, there were 0 positive COVID tests. That means that not one staff member or player or coach within the bubble had the virus, which is unbelievable. The country has tried and failed numerous times to stop the spread of COVID, along with the rest of the world, and the NBA figured out a way to completely stop the spread of the virus in its bubble for 95 days with thousands of people. Now, the bubble worked so well because it was easy to map the COVID spread. In a confined space like Disney World, it wasn't hard for the NBA to keep track of the players' movements throughout the park. This gave them the knowledge of who to quarantine specifically if a player or coach or employee ever actually tested positive for the virus. The NBA found an affordable saliva test that showed a 99.7 testing accuracy rate. Because it was so efficient, the NBA was able to successfully budget while keeping their players and employees safe. They also listened to scientists. They were able to secure the best possible testing for players and coaches, and kept up with the COVID news to best protect said players and coaches. Publicly, the bubble thrived due to the best basketball players in the world living together and playing each other daily. The NBA was the first and only sports organization to do that this year, and it was a great success. So not only did the NBA season continue, but culturally the organization adapted with the pandemic, which is huge. Both fans and owners got their season, and the NBA was able to somewhat combat financial losses during a global pandemic. Now, every part of the NBA made the decision to sacrifice their home lives and normality to play basketball. There were guests in the bubble, but players weren't allowed to live with their families in the bubble. Their families could only visit for a certain amount of time, and the players had to just stay and live at Disney World without their families. There were boundaries of who could visit, and if players broke rules, they were suspended until deemed safe to play again. So if they left the bubble, they had to get tested, they had to be deemed to be able to play again. So they were playing basketball, but was it worth it? I think that now every NBA player would answer that the bubble was worth every second of it. Now you must be thinking, is there something behind this story? Why is the NBA bubble important to our daily lives? Is it important to our daily lives? Simply put, because it was the best example of an American COVID success story to this date. With so much turmoil in the country right now and in the world, everyone has had to sacrifice. America really needed a win. The NBA bubble was talked about and will be talked about for years to come. It's a sports organization that was able to not only combat COVID, but ultimately conquer it. This year, has been chaotic to say the least. And through that chaos, the NBA found a way to thrive. Maybe the bubble is just sports related. Maybe the bubble had a profound effect on culture in America. Maybe the bubble was the sign people needed to unite as Americans and fight this virus together. Whatever the case, the success of the NBA bubble raised the bar in the fight against COVID, and may be a significant foundation for victory in that fight. Thank you.